Hey everyone! Welcome to Mythical Masala with Neve, where we are about to unlock the wildest, most magical stories from ancient India. I'm your host, Neve, and I get to take you on this journey through the greatest legends of Indian mythology. From magical myths to brave heroes and tricky demons, these stories are packed with action and some pretty cool life lessons. Ready? Let's jump in! Hey everyone! Welcome back to another episode of Mythical Masala with Neve, the podcast where we unravel the most epic and emotional stories from Indian mythology. I'm your host, Neve, and today's episode is going to be a roller coaster of emotions. Last time, we saw the shocking turn of events as Kaikeyi made her demands, and King Dashratha was left shattered. Today, we'll witness Rama's heartbreaking departure from Ayodhya and the beginning of his journey into exile. Trust me, you're going to want to grab a tissue for this one. And joining me, as always, is my mom, my fantastic co-host.
Hey everyone! I have to admit, this episode has some really intense moments. From Rama's unwavering sense of duty to the citizens of Ayodhya who just can't let him go. The story has it all. We'll add some fun facts and insights along the way. So let's get started, shall we?
With a heart as heavy as a storm cloud, King Dashratha called for Sumantara, his trusted charioteer. He couldn't even muster the strength to face Rama himself, so he asked Sumantara to summon him. When Rama arrived, he found his father collapsed on the floor, looking like a shadow of his former self, while Kaikeyi stood by, face hard and unyielding.
It's important to remember just how much Dashrath loved Ram. Rama was his pride, his legacy, his very heart, and seeing him so broken shows just how deep the wound Kaikeyi had inflicted was. It's not just a king losing his successor, it's a father losing his beloved son.
Rama bowed to his mother and father, maintaining a calm demeanor. He turned to Kaikeyi and asked, "Mother, what has happened to father?" Kaikeyi, with an unsteady voice, explained, "Your father promised me 2 boons long ago, and I have claimed them. Bharat will be crowned king, and you, Rama, must go into exile for 14 years.
And just like that, Rama's fate changed forever. Imagine learning that you are supposed to be crowned the next king, and suddenly you are being sent to live in the forest for 14 years?
But Rama didn't argue, didn't question. He simply bowed and said, "It will be done as you ask, mother." Even Kaikeyi was taken aback by his calm acceptance, and Dashratha, who had been lying on the floor, could hardly believe what he was hearing. He begged Rama to stay, but Rama simply smiled and helped his father to a seat, trying to comfort him.
What? Rama wasn't annoyed at all? I mean, who reacts like that? Imagine being told you're getting kicked out of your own birthday party and you just smile and say, "Cool, I'll go hang out in the backyard for 14 years." But that's Rama for you, unflinching in his duty even when the stakes are sky high.
That's exactly it. Rama's sense of duty was unshakable. He accepted his fate without bitterness, even though he knew what it meant for him, his family, and especially Sita. After leaving the anger room, Rama made his way through the palace to inform his mother, Kaushalya. He knew she would be devastated. As he entered her chambers, she welcomed him with a smile, thinking he was there to prepare for the coronation. But when Rama told her about his exile, the world came crashing down faster than a Jenga tower on a shaky table.
This scene is so heart wrenching. It's like when your favorite character in a TV show suddenly has to leave and you're yelling at the screen, "No, don't go!" But unlike us, Kaushalla couldn't just binge watch the next episode to see how it all worked out, right?
Kaushalya begged Rama not to leave, but he explained, in that calm, collected way of his, that he had to follow his father's wishes. It's like he was saying, "Mom, I have to do this. It's my duty." And she knew she couldn't change his mind.
It's interesting because, in many ways, this highlights a clash between personal love and duty. Kaushalya's love is raw and emotional, while Rama's love is expressed through his unwavering commitment to doing what is right.
Next, Rama went to share the news with Lakshman, his brother and closest friend. Lakshmana's reaction was a world away from Rama's calm acceptance. He was furious. He knew that Kaikeyi was behind this, and he couldn't believe their father would agree to such a thing. Lakshman even offered to fight to keep Rama from going into exile.
Typical Lakshman, always ready for a challenge. He's like, "Where's my sword? Let's solve this my way." It's that classic younger sibling energy, always ready to defend their older brother, no matter the odds.
Exactly. But Rama calmed him down, explaining to Lakshmana that their father's word had to be honored. And just like that, Lakshman decided he wasn't going to let Rama go alone. He said, "If you're going, I'm coming too." Nothing could change his mind. With his mother's reluctant blessing and Lakshman by his side, Rama made his way to his chambers, where Sita waited, still unaware of the storm that had upended the world. As he walked through the corridors, he could hear the faint murmurs of disbelief. He knew that breaking the news to Sita would be the hardest part of all.
And you have to imagine, Sita had been busy preparing for his coronation, probably planning a big celebration like you're going to have the best sweets, music, dancing.
Rama found Sita in their chambers, her face glowing with joy, as she carefully laid out his ceremonial garments. She looked up with a radiant smile.
"Rama, you should be resting. Tomorrow is a big day. I have prepared everything for your coronation. Look, I even picked the softest shawl for you, made from the rarest wool. You will look every bit the king you were meant to be."
Sita continued.
"And after the ceremonies, I have planned a special feast for you with all of your favorite dishes. We'll have a celebration to remember." I'm sure when Rama walked in with that serious look on his face, the mood must have changed instantly.
Yes, Rama's eyes filled with a sadness he couldn't hide. He took her hands in his, holding them gently. "Sita, my love, there will be no coronation. My father, following a promise he made to Kaikeyi, has asked me to leave for the forest to live as an ascetic for 14 years.
Sita must have been shocked. I'm sure she thought it was a mistake and couldn't be true. I mean, Rama was the rightful heir, and the entire city was waiting for him to be crowned.
Yes, but she could see the truth in his eyes, the unwavering calm that told her he had accepted his fate. Sita was determined and told Rama,
"If you're going into the forest, then I'm coming with you, Rama. Did I not vow to share my life with you, for better or worse, in palaces or in the wilderness? Cannot stay here while you endure hardships alone. My place is by your side." You can't help but think of those epic love stories, Romeo and Juliet, but in a jungle with wild animals instead of rival families. But Sita's determination wasn't just a romantic gesture. In ancient times, a wife's duty was seen as standing beside her husband through every trial. But for Sita, it went deeper. It was about love, loyalty, and the promise they had made to each other.
Rama tried to dissuade her, painting a grim picture of life in the forest. "The forest is no place for you, Sita. It's a harsh world filled with wild animals, thorny bushes, and no comforts. You are used to the soft beds and sweet scents of the palace. I will sleep on a bed of leaves, eat roots and wild fruits, and wear clothes made of bark. You deserve better."
Knowing Sita, I assume she did not budge. She was ready to face the wild animals, the cold rivers, and the darkness of the forest because she wanted to be beside Rama. She was fearless and determined, wasn't she?
Seeing her resolve, Rama realized that Sita's heart was set. He embraced her, acknowledging her strength and love. "Very well, my beloved. Be my companion in exile, and together we will face whatever comes." As the morning sun began to rise over Ayodhya, the palace that had been bustling with preparations for the coronation just a day before was now preparing for Rama, Sita, and Lakshman to leave. The news of Rama's exile had spread like wildfire.
It's almost like the entire kingdom was in mourning. Imagine the change in mood. One minute you're decorating the streets, and the next you're tearing down the decorations because your beloved prince is leaving.
Rama, Sita, and Lakshman prepared for their journey. They exchanged their royal garments for the simple clothes of ascetics, garments made of tree bark which felt rough against their skin.
Oh no! Imagine swapping out your favorite hoodie for a scratchy, uncomfortable sweater? You get the idea.
Sita, used the finest silks, bore the transformation with grace. Lakshman, always the warrior, adjusted his belt and sword, ready to protect his brother at all costs.
Do you know, wearing those clothes wasn't just symbolic, it meant they were leaving behind the comforts of palace life and embracing a simpler, more challenging existence. They were literally shedding their royal identities.
As they walked through the palace, servants wept openly and soldiers bowed low, their hands shaking. The royal family came to see them off, their faces streaked with tears. But when they reached King Dashratha, who was too weak to stand, he tried to hold back his emotions. But seeing Sita and Lakshmana join Rama broke his resolve. Dashrath's voice choked with emotion. Rama, my son, how will I live without you? And you, Sita, how will you endure the forest's hardships? Lakshman, my brave boy, take care of your brother. Protect him and Sita from every danger. Rama bowed low before his father, touching his feet, and said, Father, do not grieve for us. We will fulfill our duty and return to you in 14 years. Take care of yourself and find strength in knowing that this is the path I must walk.
This is so powerful. Rama comforting his father, even as he himself is about to face the unknown. It really shows the depth of his character and his sense of responsibility.
With heavy hearts, Rama, Sita, and Lakshman climbed onto the royal chariot. As they rode through the streets of Ayodhya, it was like a scene straight out of a dramatic movie. The people of Ayodhya chased the chariot, shouting, Rama, don't leave us! Who will guide us? Who will protect us? It's like when your favorite superhero says they're retiring, and everyone begs them for just one more mission. But Rama kept his gaze fixed ahead, his face calm and composed, even as his heart ached at the sight of his people's grief. Sita held onto his arm, her own eyes brimming with tears as she watched the city she had come to love slip away behind them.
Dashratha, his own heart was breaking too. He tried to catch one last glimpse of his son, but the pain was just too much to bear. He collapsed, unable to watch the chariot carry his beloved Rama away.
As the chariot sped away, the dust rose like a veil between Rama and his home, obscuring the palace towers and the faces of those he loved. The sun, which should have shone brightly on the day of his coronation, hid behind a veil of clouds. Even nature seemed to grieve for Rama's departure. After a long day's journey, the chariot came to rest by the banks of the Tamasa River. The water flowed gently, reflecting the first light of dawn. Sumantra, ever loyal, unhitched the horses and set up a small camp. Sita and Rama sat by the river, their hands clasped together, while Rama stood guard, his eyes scanning the shadows of the forest.
You know, the Tamasa River wasn't just any river, it's considered sacred. And it's said that many great sages meditated on its banks. Listeners may remember in an earlier episode we talked about Valmiki being at the Tamasa River. For Rama, Sita, and Lakshman, it must have felt like the last touch of civilization before they truly entered the wilderness.
As they sat by the river, Rama turned to Sumantra and said softly, When the people of Ayodhya wake up, they will try to persuade me to return. It is better that we leave now. before their grief becomes a burden too heavy for us to bear. Sumantra was reluctant but obedient. But my lord, how will the people live without you? How will they face the days ahead, knowing that their beloved prince is gone?
I'm sure Rama was gentle as ever. He was just focused on fulfilling his duty, so he wanted to get going before the love becomes a chain that binds them all.
Sumantra nodded and prepared the chariot for departure, guiding them quietly deeper into the forest. As the first rays of the sun touched the Tamasa River, Rama, Sita, and Lakshman crossed over its waters, leaving behind the last trace of Ayodhya's civilization.
It's a poignant moment. Crossing that river symbolizes leaving behind everything they knew and embracing a future filled with uncertainty. You just can't help but wonder, did they look back one last time?
They didn't. As the chariot moved into the shadows of the trees, they kept their eyes forward, knowing that looking back would make it even harder to walk away from the life they had left behind. When the citizens of Ayodhya awoke, they found only the faint marks of chariot wheels leading away from the riverbank, a reminder of the ones they had loved and lost to the wilderness. And that's where we'll leave our story for today, friends. Rama, Sita, and Lakshman have crossed into the unknown, but their journey is just beginning. From the comforts of a palace to the wild heart of the forest, they're about to face challenges like never before.
Yeah, if you thought leaving the palace was tough, just wait until you hear about what's waiting for them in the forest. Maybe new alliances, unexpected dangers, and of course, those moments that remind us why Rama is such a legendary hero.
Until then, remember, even when the path ahead seems uncertain, it's the strength of our hearts that guides us through. See you next time on Mythical Masala with Neev. Thanks for joining me on another magical adventure here at Mythical Masala with Neev. I hope you enjoyed today's tale and learned something new about the legends of ancient India. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Got questions or a favorite myth you love to hear? Send them my way. You can follow us at Mythical Masala Podcast on social media for more updates, behind the scenes fun, and to be part of our mythical community. Make sure to share this podcast with your friends and family and have them join in on the fun. Until next time, remember, every great adventure starts with a little curiosity and imagination. See you soon!